This is Tom negotiating with Jesus. This is the second video. I was supposed to do something this morning and I didn't. I'm going to try and do a little extra because I'm going to just keep making videos because that's a habit I want to form, and then we'll see if it develops into a good channel or just something kind of lame. My music videos, I've seen so many great channels, and there are great music instructional videos, tutorials. I'm going to do something that's maybe, I don't care how good it is. I'm just going to do it. If it's worth doing, it's worth doing poorly. So I'm going to do some things poorly until I figure it out. So today I'm going to do a little bit of discussion of my two worlds theology. I think I've mentioned this before, but two worlds theology, I didn't look it up, but I've heard Paul Vanderklay talk about it, and the idea that there's a heaven and an earth, and that we think about heavenly things, and there's a saying that says, you're so heavenly minded, you're of no earthly good. So that's a saying for a good reason. You don't want to be not useful in this world. You want to be practical in some way. But there is kind of I have a two worlds theology. So the idea is, if you look in the Bible, there's this split. That in the beginning, there's this created order where God works alongside of humans. So in the garden, God and man coexist. They're hanging out. They're friends. And man is commanded he has one task: do not eat the fruit of the tree of knowledge of good and evil. That fruit, the day that you eat of it, you will surely die. And then the serpent comes along and says, no, God's withholding something from you. He's not giving you the best fruit, and the best fruit is that fruit that will make you like him. Now, the idea is we already were like him. We were created in his image. We were like him. So the serpent he's playing some kind of game. It's a deceptive game. They eat the fruit. They're cast out of the garden. And now, knowing good and evil, it's a real problem for humans, because each of us becomes like a little god, knowing good and evil. And we don't have the clarity of vision, this all-seeing, understanding vision. The all-knowing God sees what truly is good and what truly is evil. He sees the truth at some ultimate level, and we see the truth, or the thing that is good for us. So we're constantly bickering about what's good, and nobody agrees. You find someone who agrees with you, talk to them for a few minutes, and you'll get them to disagree with you. We are amazingly argumentative, disagreeable creatures. So it's everything from what political party to vote for, what human rights are, how to distribute wealth, and even to the point of the absolutely ridiculously small issues like which way to roll the toilet paper. Obviously over the top, and then people will say, no, obviously the other way. You don't have cats. That will be the big argument. So we're disagreeable creatures. And to the point where we will argue, we will fight, we will disagree or just hurt each other's feelings, and we'll even escalate to war and kill each other. So my two worlds theology is that heaven and earth were once together. And in some way, the ideal is now somehow out of reach, and that's Ecclesiastes. Solomon talks about how everything seems to be out of reach. The good that we long for, we keep grasping for it, and we just can't get hold of it, that optimal grip. We can't get hold of the good that we long for. It's elusive. And utopia is always the dream, this heavenly dream. And if you watch any movie, as soon as they create utopia, it turns out that the people doing it were lying, and it is dystopia. It's always dystopia. Always. It doesn't ever turn out that people who are offering you something too good to be true, that it's ever true. No, it's too good to be true. And perhaps Jesus is the exception, but I'll let you worry about that. So my two worlds are the heaven and earth realm, which was a previous state, and now the earth and hell realm. So now is hell real? Well, you can see people going through hell. You can hear people telling others to go to hell. So hell is certainly real. People tell you to go there. You see people living a hellish existence. Hell is real. And heaven seems to be a dream, a hope. So my two worlds theology, the connection of heaven and earth, the reunion of heaven and earth, and the fall from grace, where instead of grace and love being our ruling system, there's now cursing and hating. And there's some glimpse of love. It hasn't been eliminated. It seems to be too powerful. So, and then I want to talk about art. So I'm going to be an arty guy. I'm going to try and do music and do things that, to me, in some way give you a glimpse of the heavenly. So the poetic versus the practical. So we talk about utopian things or heavenly things, and the idea that I just said, so heavenly minded, you're of no earthly good, but we listen to people sing. And it is the arts and the poetic, it isn't practical, but it's heavenly in some way. Practical is, we don't have time to give you singing lessons. You need to go out and milk the cows. We need to eat. You need to work for the family. So dreams can be given up, and they're very hard to attain, dreams. And people tell you to pursue your dreams because the dream, everyone knows, is the heavenly. So we want people to find heaven. And so the poetic, it's not practical, but it's heavenly, and it's everything. The poetic is all the things that are in some way impractical, I think. So playing, so when you see children play, you're seeing some glimpse of heaven. And children are almost always doing impractical things, but we're training them to be practical, and we're going to take all the heaven that's in them and we're going to wring it out of them, and they're going to be able to work in a factory. Yes, we're going to train them to be obedient little soldiers and work in a factory because it's practical. And in some way, we are so tied to the earth. The idea that people are heavenly minded and of no earthly value. Nobody lives like that. You have to actually, we're connected to the earth. We have to do the work, the sleep, the eating, the cleaning, the self-care, all the things that we have to do. You can't skip the practical. The only way you can skip the practical is if you cheat the system or live out in the street, become homeless or something like that. You can't escape the practical. And you can only get a portion of the poetic. But I want to encourage people to play. So sports, the whole sport religion, the religion of sports is that what if for a moment we could get rid of all our responsibilities and play? And you have men getting millions of dollars to play. And people cheering because the play, the poetic, the play is what we long for. We long to rest from our work, and we long to play. And it can be competitive. That's fine, as long as it's playing. So sports has become the great idol of the West, I think. I'm not sure. Because in some way it's a heavenly activity. It's not our mundane, our brutal grind. But singing, the arts, if you get a chance to paint or sing or play music or play games or play with children, anything that takes you away from the brutish nature of the world, the hellishness, or the toil without rest. It seems like it's so unending. So I want to encourage finding ways to be involved in the heavenly activities, the playing, the singing, the art, and I'll continue to put some of my artistic things, and I don't care if you do it poorly. I think something worth doing is worth doing poorly until you can do it better. So, and I believe all the work in the world is done by people who don't get the acclaim. They're not at the top of the pyramid. They're not at the top of the hierarchy. The great ones, I think, create a society who sits and watches the best perform because they are good enough. But they're tricking you into thinking that you have to be good or great to perform. I think for us to watch as these giant stadiums full of people sitting while one person sings or 10 people play a game. Watch your kids, watch smaller venues, live music, kids playing. I think the forgotten ones, the not good enough, are the ones who are really carrying the heavenly world and the practical world. It's all the little people. So go out there, little people. You keep on doing your thing, and I'll keep doing mine. That's it for now.